Big news from Cathedral Studios, Bornless is coming to Xbox. This is definitely a really big deal because this is one of the first Web3 games that Xbox is committing to onboarding. Bornless is a horror first-person shooter game all about survival and battle royale set in the 1950s where players fight for survival not just against each other but against terrifying demons. The main antagonist is a demon named Orobus, and players team up in pairs to battle both supernatural forces and rival teams. And they recently just had a very successful playtest with over 5,500 players and 1,000 matches, as well as over 26,000 hours played on platforms like Steam and Epic Games. On top of that, in-game transactions were buzzing with 22,000 loot items sold, all showcasing that Bornless is building a massive fan base and hype ahead of its launch. Next up, we have Wildcard, which is a multiplayer battle arena style game similar to Dota or League of Legends, and they just had their playtest on March 4th, which was exclusively for NFT holders, but there's a lot coming up for Wildcard. First off, it's a backed mainly Web 2 focused game that's going to have more hidden Web 3 elements. And also to go along with it, they're announcing their community token, which is the WC token, and they are making this one heavily community focused. Right now, 20% of these tokens have been given out, but they'll be locked for future releases. So when it comes to bringing that crypto element to the game, they're going to have NFTs and things like that in terms of skins, but then the tokens themselves, they'll be used for something else. They're going to have a meta game called Wild Clash, and this is for players and collectors who are into crypto and NFTs, and will be run on the platform called Thousands.tv. And with heavily Web 2 focused gameplay, as well as giving 100% of the token supply to the community, we're sure that this one is going to be a big one to watch for the future. And our next story comes from the team at Space Nation. They have just announced that they've launched their OIK token, and this is going to fit into the entire Space Nation ecosystem. Now, we've covered their main game, Space Nation Online, which is an MMORPG. However, the token's going to fit in with their entire ecosystem. Now, the token itself isn't going to affect the in-game economy. It's more for rewarding players and things like NFT transactions. You can use it for buying and selling NFTs, voting on game decisions, earning extra rewards, and players who stake can even participate in airdrops and other perks. Now, as for the supply, there's 1 billion tokens in total, and 44%, almost half, are getting reserved for players, and this isn't going to be a quick release schedule. This is going to be vested over the next 10 years in hope that there won't be any major dumping on their community. So how can you earn tokens? Well, what's really cool about this is they're going to do proof of actually playing the game. So they're going to track things like time spent playing, achievements unlocked, owning NFTs, and stake tokens. And once the game officially kicks off its new season, they're going to be rewarding players that keep up to date and are playing every week. As for how Space Nation is doing, well, profitability wise, they're already doing really well. They've already brought in $2.5 million since October 24, and that doesn't include things like NFT sales and secondary sales like this. This is everything from in-game. And the average revenue per paying user on this one is $217, so people are definitely spending money in the game. If you've already played Space Nation Online during its early access phase, you might even have some OIK tokens waiting for you. The Game Developers Conference 2025 is currently happening right now until the 21st of March in San Francisco. There's going to be 30,000 attendees, over 700 sessions covering everything from game design, storytelling, to AI, the metaverse, and of course, crypto gaming. One of the biggest takeaways so far from this conference is that we are on a trajectory for a focus on crypto and Web3 gaming, especially now that the United States is becoming even more crypto friendly. The world of Web3 and crypto gaming is inevitable, and there's so many people talking about it. Of course, the mainstream media and regular gamers still have some pushback on the term crypto gaming because of what they saw in 2021 and the massive overhype and oversold NFTs that kind of plagued our industry a little bit. But it's times like these and conferences like this that people will slowly get the education they need to see the value in Web3 gaming, and it's not going to take away from their gaming experience. It's just going to enhance it even more. And we're seeing that already with last year Off the Grid, showing that players like Ninja, Tim the Tapman, Scump, and all those are really enjoying playing Off the Grid, and it is just in early access, and we saw so much positive feedback on that online. So we can definitely see that adoption is on its way. But as for the Game Developers Conference, this is what you need to know. Tuesday was really big because we had massive focuses on Solana as well as the Sui ecosystem. It looks like we're seeing a really heavy focus on Solana that we already knew about, but now so many backers moving to Sui. This is great for networking in Web3 gaming. It's a major event sponsored by Sequence, and the Wolf's Den Hacker House will bring together top creators creators, developers, and innovators in the space. Now, if you're on the other side, the development and monetization side, you're going to want to pay attention to Zola's blockchain gaming session, because this is going to help developers monetize their games. And one of the biggest additions this year is GDC nights. This is where we have the after hours events where people can network and really see what's coming up in the future of Web3 gaming. In previous years, the conversation was heavily centered around NFTs and tokens, but now the focus is shifting to how blockchain can enhance gameplay rather than just being a financial layer on top of a game. Games like Wildcard and Off the Grid are blending traditional gaming experiences with optional Web3 elements, making it easier for mainstream gamers to try out blockchain gaming without feeling overwhelmed by all the crypto jargon and getting wallets. So this event is going to be going on for the next 3 days. If you're in the San Francisco area, definitely make sure you check it out, but you can also follow along with all the programming on their website. And if you want to stay up to date with all things gaming news, interviews, and things like that, definitely make sure you're checking out our platform, Funjible Games. We have all that and so much more there. And of course, stay tuned for our YouTube channel, where very soon we're going to be doing a playtest on Neon Heroes. This is actually such a fun game, so make sure you stay tuned on March 26th.